Next concept is capacitance voltage transformers. So these capacitance voltage transformers divide us with a suitable matching or isolating potential transformers tuned for resonance condition is often used in a power system for voltage measurements. So what is the difference between the previous one and this concept? You can see to that. So C1 is divided to too many number of the sections, and C2 is directly which is connected to the some dividers, whereas in the previous cases. So now we have some choke, and what is the voltage which appear across the C2 and the L value under resonance condition will transfer to the transformers, and this will be stepped down to the required value then connected to the meter. Sometimes it may be of the wattmeter or the relay coil. So then CPD, that is nothing but capacitance potential dividers, can be connected to only to high impedance VTM meter or electrostatic voltmeter, but these can be connected to low impedance like pressure coil or the wattmeter or relay coil. So this is nothing but we can able to use it directly to the reading where you wanted to take those values. Means directly we no need to have some additional devices for stepping down to the required value. Directly we can give it for directly we can give it to the low voltage or devices like wattmeter and the relay coil. So here the CVT can supply a load of few VA to the secondary side. So generally C1 is a few unit of HV capacitance, and the total capacitance will be around a few thousand picofarad. So because it is subjected to the high voltage side of the devices. Then C2 is a non-inductive capacitance. Okay, it's subjected to the low voltage side. Then there is a matching transformer which is connected between the load and the meter M and the C value. So this is the meter, and there is a low voltage arm of the devices C2, and there is an choke coil and the transformer. So generally the transformer rating will be of high voltage side at 10 to 30 kV, and the low voltage side is of 100 to 500 volts. So these are the values of the rating of the transformer where we can use it. Then what will happens, because it is subjected to C2L and the transformer, then the value of the tuning choke coil L is chosen to bring the resonance condition. Then this condition will become omega into L plus LT, that is equal to 1 by omega C1 plus C2. So where L is nothing but the inductance of the choke coil and LT is nothing but the equivalent inductance of the transformer, which is referred to the high voltage side. So this is the schematic and the equivalent circuit. So there is a high voltage. What is the current flowing is IC1 and the capacitance C1. So resulting in this is a C1 means the voltage across the C1 VC1, and means how exactly the based on the schematic representation the equivalent circuit diagram has been written. Okay, there is a current which is flowing through the capacitor C2 is IC2, and there is a meter IM and XI and the RI value means the instrument, and these are the magnetizing values of the XM and the RM values. So the voltage across the capacitors will become VC2, and this is the voltage across the output across the meter. So V2 dash means we can consider as a V2 is subjected to secondary side V2 dash. Okay, this is across the instrument. So then we can write it as V2 is equal to I2 into RM value, means the divide across the meter, okay, MI meter or micron meter. Then what will happens, the total value of the VC2 across this value will become the output voltage plus the current which is flowing through the IM, RE and the X value means for the excitation. So what will happens, the total value of the input value will become V1 is equal to VC1 plus VC2. So generally V1 is in phase with an V2 dash. So it is subjected to the secondary side. These are in phase values. So hence, by with the proper tuning, value of the R2 will be phased with an even value. The potential transformers resistance and reactance are not shown here with respect to the separately and are excluded in the Ri and the Xi. The resistance and reactance of the tuning indicator L value. Then the voltage ratio will become A is equal to input by output, that is nothing but Vc1 plus Vri plus V2 dash by V2 dash, or we can make it as V2 by V2. Then coming to that, their advantages and the limitation of capacitance voltage transformers. First one is the advantages. It is simple design and easy installation. So no need to have additional 2 min number of the devices, and this can be used both as an voltmeter measuring device for meter and the relaying purpose. Means we can give it directly what is the value of the voltage which we are getting, directly we can feed back to that the relay, and also a coupling condenser for power lines carrier communication in the relay. So this is meaning that we can use it for both measuring values and for communication purposes as well. Then it is a frequency independent voltage distribution along elements as against conventional magnetic potential transformers, which requires additional insulation design against such. So here we don't have any such problem, whereas in case of the capacitance voltage transformers, it provides isolation between high voltage terminal and the low voltage terminal because of the transformer what we used. And coming to the limitation, the voltage ratio is susceptible to the temperature variation. Then the problem of inducing ferroresonance because of the choke oil which is used. So these are the limitations and the advantages of capacitance voltage transformers. Then next, coming to the concept, we have electrostatic voltmeter. So this is one of the method for direct measurement of high voltages by means of electrostatic voltmeters. So for the voltages above 10 kV, generally attracted this type of the electrostatic voltmeter can be used. So here why we are going for electrostatic voltmeter is there is no uh, direct connection between the source and the meter. So means what are the limitation which is quoted by earlier, like series impedance and the capacitance potential dividers and the capacitance voltage transformers can be overcome by this method because it is subjected to that there is isolation between the source and the meter reading. So this work on the principle of electrostatic voltmeter, means electrostatic principle. So when two parallel plate conducting plates are used having the cross section A and the spacing S, or you can make it as D, means the distance between the two electrodes, are charged with respect to the Q and having the potential difference V, then the energy stored which is given by. So this is nothing but we are varying the value of the capacitance by changing the distance between the two electrodes. Okay, by changing that the distance between the two electrodes, the force exerted between the two elements will varies, so resulting in there is a capacitance. So this capacitance value can be used for the measurement of the value of the voltage. So this can be written as half CV square. So differentiation for the dW will become half V square dC. So resulting in this can be written as, so this equation can be written as the force into the distance ds values. So the force will become half V square dC by ds, the Newton, because of the distance between the two electrodes. The capacitance exerted will varies. So for an uniform field capacitance, C is equal to A into epsilon divided by S. So differentiation of dC by ds. So we can write it as A epsilon divided by S square minus. So we know that 1 by S of the differentiation values. Okay. By after doing the simplification, we can write it as F is equal to minus half A into epsilon V square divided by S square Newton. So it is thus seen that force of attraction, so this F is directly proportional to the square of the potential difference between the two electrodes which is applied. so that a meter reads the square of the values. So this is nothing but the working principle of an electrostatic voltmeter. Then coming to the construction, electrostatic voltmeter was made with parallel plate configuration using the God ring to avoid the corona and the field fringing at the edges. So that's nothing but we are using the two electrodes. So if there is a spacing between the two electrodes, there is a possibility of that a stray capacitance and the ground capacitance may exert between the two electrodes. So we have to minimize that. So we are going with a God ring to avoid the or to minimize the value of the corona. And absolute voltmeter is made by balancing the plate with the counterweights and is calibrated in terms of small weight. So because we have to measure the what is the force exerting between the two elements because of the distance, because of the force, we have to calculate what is the because of the spacing and what is the force exerted between the element. So we should have some counterbalancing because it is the distance between the two electrode varies. We should have some option to vary the force what is exerted between the two element. So by balancing the plate, a counterweight is calibrated in terms of the small weight. Then the upper frequency limit of AC application is determined by some of the following consideration. So here first one is the natural frequency of the moving system. Next one is the resonance frequency of the lead and the stray inductance with the meter capacitor. Then the RC behavior of the retaining or the control springs. So these are the limit of the application is determined by considering these three things. However, an upper frequency limit is about of 1 megahertz, which is achieved with a careful design. So generally, the accuracy of the AC voltage measurement is better than plus or minus 0.25 percentage, and for the DC, it may be of a plus or minus 0.1 percentage or less. So this is nothing but the construction of an electrostatic voltmeter. Next, coming to the circuit diagram, electrostatic voltmeter of the attracted disk type may be connected across the high voltage circuit directly to measure up to 200 kV. So without using any the potential dividers or using the method. So these instruments can be used for both AC and the DC. And you can see this is a connection diagram or the circuit diagram. So right hand side is connected to the HV, and the left portion of the disk is cut away and encloses a small disk which is movable and is geared up to the pointer of the instrument. So range of the instrument can be altered by setting the right hand disk at a pre-marked distances. So the force of the attraction or the created by the applied voltage will cause the movable part to which the mirror is attached. Assuming is some position at which the balance of the force will takes places. So therefore, the incident light beam will reflected towards a scale calibrated to read the applied voltage of the magnitude. So this is means that so this is subject to the high voltage side and this is low voltage side. There is an assuming that there is a distance between these two electrodes. So if we are goes on changing the distance between those two electrodes, this balancing weight is which is varies depending upon what is the distance. The distance is mainly depending upon the force of the attraction between those two electrodes. And the light which is falling onto the mirror will direct towards the scale, and this scale will give the predetermined values which is calibrated the previous to measure the value of the force exerted between the elements in terms of the voltage. So this is nothing but the schematic representation of the electrostatic voltmeter. So this is a circuit diagram of electrostatic voltmeter. Moving electrode is surrounded by a fixed God ring D. to make a field is uniform in the central region. So in order to measure that the voltage with a precision, the disk diameter has to be increased and the gap distance is to be made less. So the limitation on the gap distance is the safe working stress allowed in the case of air, which is of 5 kV per centimeter, or sometimes which is lesser than that. The main difference between several forms of the voltmeter lies in the same way, in the same manner, is the restoring force which is obtained. For conventional version of the meters, a simple, you can see to that there is a simple spring control which is used, which will actuate a pointer to move on the scale of the instrument. In more versatile instrument, only a small movement of the moving electrode which is allowed and which is amplified through by optical means. There are two air vane dampers are used to reduce the vibrational tendencies in the moving system, and the elongation of the spring which is kept minimum to avoid there is a possibility of the field disturbances. So the range of the instrument which is easily changed by changing the gap separation, so that the volt per the distance or the electric stress is the same for the maximum value in any range. So generally multi-range instruments are constructed for 600 kV RMS and above. So this is having some moving mechanism. So this is the mounting plate M, and G is nothing but the guide ring. So we have to minimize the value of, we have to minimize the value of the corona formation across the two electrodes, and these are the fixed electrodes, and H is nothing but the guard hoops or the rings. Then coming to the construction of an absolute electrostatic voltmeter, the control torque is provided by a balancing weight. So this is the balancing weight. The moving disc M, you can see here M, this will forms the core of the guard ring G, which is of the same diameter as the fixed plate F. So this G and this F, the diameter will be remains the same. The cap D encloses a sensitive balance B. Okay, so this is nothing but balancing weight. One arm which is a carries a suspension of the moving disc. The balance beam carries a mirror which reflect a beam of the light, what I explained in the previous concept. So movement of the disc is therefore magnified by using some optical way, as the spacing between the two electrodes is large. The uniformity of the electric field is maintained by using H, that is nothing but a guard hoops or the ring which surrounds the space between F and the M. So guard ring H are maintained at some constant potential in the space by capacitance divider, ensuring that there is a uniform special potential distribution. So in simple way which I am saying to that, So this is the moving one, and this is the fixed one, and we have the 2 many number of the stages of the capacitance. By this value of the capacitance which is exerted, so then the force which is exerted the element will be varies, resulting in there is an the moving coil, means the moving arm which is try to attract between the F and the M. So this is the counterbalance. So inside of this there is a mechanism. So depending upon the force exerted, the light will be falling on the element, and this will reflect what is the force exerted between the element. So this is how exactly the electrostatic voltmeter will work. Some instruments are constructed with an enclosed structure containing sometimes air or carbon dioxide or nitrogen. These pressures may be of the order of 15 atm. So the working stress as high as 100 kV per centimeter may be used in an electrostatic voltmeter in the vacuum. So this is nothing but how exactly the circuit diagram construction and the working principle of an electrostatic voltmeter. Then coming to the advantages, low loading effect, because there is isolation between the high voltage arm and the low voltage arm. Then active power losses are negligibly small because of the isolation between those two, and the voltage source loading is limited to the reactive power needed to charge the system capacitance, and the voltage up to 600 kV can be measured. Then coming to the limitation, for constant distances F is directly proportional to V square because the sensitivity is small, so this can be overcome by varying the gap distance in appropriate steps. So we should have some careful construction for the electrostatic voltmeter. If there is some small disturbances will lead to that there is a large value of the output voltage will varies. So hence these are the advantages and the limitation of an electrostatic voltmeter.